Listen well, for I tell you of the first great tide, Hive Fleet Behemoth. The name alone still sends chills through veteran warriors, and with good cause. It was our first true glimpse of what horrors the Void could birth. The Imperium had faced alien threats before, but nothing like this. Nothing could have prepared us for what emerged from the Eastern Fringe. Tyran was the first to fall, a proud Imperial world reduced to a lifeless rock in mere weeks. The warning they sent was brief, desperate, their final service to the Emperor. System by system, world by world, the horror grew. Each planet devoured, made the swarm stronger. Prandium, the paradise world stripped to its core. The orbit of Ultima Segmentum, its defense fleets shattered like glass. The Xenos threat moved with terrible purpose, as if drawn by some unseen power towards the realm of Ultramar itself. But this was Behemoth's fatal error. For in choosing to strike at Ultramar, they faced the finest warriors in the Emperor's service, the Ultramarines. The sons of Guilliman stood ready, but even they could not have foreseen the scale of what approached. The Void itself turned black with their numbers. Bioships beyond counting, each one a living weapon of chitin and spite. They struck not like raiders or invaders, but like a force of nature. Mindless, endless, hungry. Their tactics were brutally simple, overwhelming force, applied directly. No subterfuge, no cunning stratagems, just raw, devastating power. The battle for Macragge. Emperor preserve us, I can speak of it now only through gritted teeth. The polar fortresses became abattoirs. Corridors filled with acid blood and broken bodies. The first company, the finest warriors of the chapter, sacrificed themselves to the last man in those frozen halls. Even the mighty Calgar himself was torn apart, though the apothecaries would rebuild him. Yet it was here that Behemoth's strength became its weakness. The Ultramarines chose their ground with surgical precision, drawing them into the polar fortresses of Macragge, where their numbers counted for nothing. Its single-minded drive, its relentless push forward, these became the tools of its own destruction. The sons of Guilliman drew them in, divided them, broke them. Space itself became a weapon as the great victim fleets of Ultramar enacted their revenge. The greatest weapon was not bolter or blade, but the tactical genius of those who had studied war for 10,000 years. But mark my words well. Behemoth's destruction was not the end. It was merely the first wave, the first test of our defenses. Even as it died, its essence, its genetic memory fed back to the greater whole. Everything it learned about us, every tactic it discovered, every weapon it faced, all of it absorbed, adapted, improved. They say an Inquisitor once claimed that Behemoth's true purpose was not conquest, but education. That through its battles, its victories, and even its ultimate defeat, the hive mind learned. It learned of our strengths, our weaknesses, our methods of war, and with each new hive fleet that follows, we see the fruits of those lessons. Remember Behemoth. Remember its relentless advance, its brutal power, its ultimate fate. For in understanding this first great assault, we better comprehend what horrors yet await us in the void. The Great Devourer is learning, brothers and sisters. The only question that remains is, are we? In his name we shall remember, in his name we shall prepare.